Hi, and welcome to Show Sunday. I feel like it's been a hot minute since I've done this, but here we are again. Today we watched the very uplifting show, The Last Days of Ptolemy Gray.
Yeah, went from Sailor Moon to this. They're totally on the same page vibe-wise, right, Balin?
Yes. Exactly the same.
Exactly the same.
He goes through the magical girl transformation and everything.
Yep.
I guess you could call it.
So it's gonna be very hard to talk about this without spoilers. So, fine. Let's go with final thoughts, and then we'll talk about what we have seen thus far.
I can think of one thing that's not a spoiler.
Okay.
Actually, I can think of two things that are not spoilers. One, the opening sequence for this show is really cool with all the drawings and everything, and how it kind of, like, we haven't watched all of it. We've only watched the first 3 episodes, but even then, how it's, like, drawn and the animation and everything is really top-notch and everything.
Yeah. I'm starting to understand why they did it that way, too, and I can figure out the significance of some of the things that are drawn.
So, yeah, that's one thing that I can think of where I'm like, okay, that's not a spoiler. Because that's the first thing you see, basically. Then, the second thing is, Sam Jackson's acting is really top-notch in this show.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because considering all the stuff that we've seen him in, even recently, it's generally, like, fairly active roles, right? And so I checked while watching this, because I always remember, I'm like, he's not a young person, and I looked it up, and he's 73. So...
Yeah. And he plays a 91-year-old man in this show.
Yeah. I will
he's
say...
believable with that.
Mostly, yeah. I think, like, in the last episode we saw episode 3, it does come across a little bit where I'm like, I don't really buy that you're 91. At the same time, I get the point, obviously, of the fact that he's now different and appears,
Yeah.
I get it. So it's not really a big criticism. It's just like, but yeah, no, it is something. It's especially early on. It's definitely like, oh shit, yeah, this. Yeah, I don't know that whenever someone does acting for this kind of stuff, it always makes me wonder if maybe they knew somebody who has went through this in real life.
That's what I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Because I know this stuff is pretty common. Yeah, like some of my grandparents had kind of gone through this to some degree. So yeah. But yeah, it's really well done.
Grandma's going through it at the moment. At which, the scene where he's like, where are we? Where are you going home and everything? I was like, that actually reminded me of something that happened with my grandma, where we were on a vacation somewhere and we were driving and she was like, oh, okay, we're going home now, but we were going to the hotel. And at first we thought she was joking and stuff, and we were like, no, we're going to the hotel and stuff. And then she kept asking, where's the house key? And then we were like, oh, wait.
Yeah, this stuff is always hard. And
it's not fun.
No, it's not. But yeah, he does it well.
Yeah, and it's very believable too.
So yeah, that stuff is good, and I do think there is, because there is sort of a mystery element to all of this.
Yeah.
And I do think that's
kind of why I picked this show. I heard the premise very, very loosely from a friend of mine who really likes Sam Jackson. So I was like, oh, this might be interesting to watch because it's a little bit different from the types of shows we usually watch. Yeah, we were only able to watch the first 3 episodes because they're about an hour long.
Yeah.
I did not even realize Apple TV had a streaming service.
Me neither.
I bet there was Apple TV.
Yeah, that's kind of the problem with this stuff now, that there's getting to be so many of these that stuff gets kind of like lost in the wind. So
Yeah.
yeah, the only thing I knew that was on Apple TV was the new Prehistoric Planet thing.
Oh, Prehistoric Planet. Well, okay, wait, we're not talking.
Yeah, but yeah, it's definitely. See, okay, well, it's a spoiler. I can't say. Actually, well, okay. This is not really a spoiler. There are flashback scenes, right? To
Yes.
Yeah.
stuff that happened in the past, and at different points in the past. It's not just like there's the one time, right? And so there is a scene that we've seen that is a flashback to a few decades ago.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I say a few, but it's several. Where the Ptolemy Gray, Samuel Jackson's character, is a young man, right? And I'm looking at this and I'm just like, how do they make him look like this?
I was like, how did they age him down? Like, I think, because it's definitely him, I think. I don't think it's CGI.
No, because there'd be such a pain of like finding an actor who looks enough like him and then having him dub over the actor. Because
I don't
everyone
know.
knows his voice.
Yeah, I really don't know what they did for that, to be honest. Because again, it's like, if it was CG, because again, like, for example, like in Captain Marvel, right, they aged him down a bit, right? But like, they aged him down like a bit, right? Like a cup, like maybe, well, at that, with the scheduling of that, it would have been like 20 years or something. Which again, 20 years sounds like a lot, but again, from like a 60-year-old to a 40-year-old is not that big of a difference, right?
Yeah.
But from a quote-unquote 91-year-old to like a 30-year-old or younger, that's like a whoa, hold on. So I'm legitimately like, what did they do? I don't know. And I'm like, is it just makeup? Like, I don't think so. That seems like that's too good. I don't know.
Did they maybe like Photoshop him in post-production? I don't know.
Oh, he put on weight, but I don't think putting on weight would change that much.
I don't think so.
Yeah. So, if someone knows what they did, I want to know.
Please tell us.
Wikipedia does not mention.
Yeah, Wikipedia
Wikipedia
says,
has like no information about this show.
Yeah.
Yeah. You guys can continue. I'm just gonna make sure that we see if there's production. What can you tell us production-wise?
Nothing.
It just says when it concluded.
Great.
Cool.
Awesome.
Great job.
Yeah.
A limited series premiered. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. It is one of the something that I can also add is like, at first it like I didn't. Well, I mean, okay, they say this really early on, so I guess saying it at first is not correct. But like, this show doesn't feel like it takes place in modern day.
Yeah, I agree with that.
But like, there's a news broadcast in the beginning that mentions like 2021 or something, so it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I found that super weird.
Yeah, and I think, I mean, part of it is definitely the whole thing about how like, in like poor or rural communities in the U.S., there's definitely an issue of like, technology kind of really lagging behind. So that's definitely a real issue. But I think it's kind of interesting where, again, I feel like, besides the fact that some people have phones, this could very well, like, you could show someone, you're like, when was this? Like the 90s or something? It's or the 80s, like.
It did have like that kind of timeless 80s, 90s vibe.
Mm-hmm.
Especially his house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, no, I was the same way in the beginning. I was like, what year is this? Because I was, at first, mine was like, oh, this is probably present day. And I was like, but the pandemic would have been, like, they would have shown something about that, right?
I guess maybe in this version it doesn't exist.
I guess, to be fair, he already has a lot going on his shoulders right now. I don't think the pandemic is another thing that needs to be added on top of that. But yeah, like as you said, if it hadn't been for the phones and everything, I don't think I would have realized that it took place in present day.
Yeah.
Just again, it's interesting. I wonder if that's kind of an on-purpose decision from the production standpoint.
I wonder.
Considering how the series deals with, thinking back to the past and stuff like that.
Maybe it's to make it less jarring when they go to the past and everything, because it kind of seamlessly. Because that would make sense.
It could also be a stylistic choice because it does have like I was trying to pick out in my head what this reminded me of, and it's weird to say, it reminds me a little bit of Banana Fish because it has like that weird like medical like fiction type of element to it. But it also has like that kind of grungy feel to it also. So I was thinking in my head maybe it's like that weird like 80s 90s crime drama type of vibe that they had. It's not really film noir because it's not pretentious. So yeah, I just think the stylistic choices were interesting.
But yeah, we've watched half of it. There's definitely more to go. There's definitely a lot of more of the mystery to solve. So, we'll have to finish this and maybe say more about it a later time. But for now, I mean, I want to know more. I'm curious to see how things are going.
I'm super invested.
Wait, episode 3 ends on a cliffhanger, so
yeah.
We had to learn that the hard way, where we were all like,
yeah.
no!
No, because I was kind of leading up to that moment. If you noticed, I kind of moved the mouse a bit to check the time, because I was I feel like the episode's gonna finish up soon, and then I saw there was like a little bit left, and I'm like, okay, maybe there's like one more scene, okay, and then the scene is that scene. I'm just like, oh, okay, yep. So,
no.
But hey, that's kind of the point of a series, is try to get you to want to watch the next episode. So there you go.
Yep.
But I guess
that all the non-spoilers stuff.
Yeah. So I guess like if you like mystery, this is a pretty good show to watch. It definitely keeps you invested. The first episode is a bit slow.
Yeah.
You just have to keep with it.
I would counter. I mean, you're not wrong, but I would say that I'm pretty sure that's the point.
Yeah. I thought, I didn't think it was a bad thing. I just feel like some people would be like, oh my god, it's so slow. But I'm just like, but that's the point. You have to kind of be in his head, because you will be in his head the rest of the series, presumably.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair. So I guess spoilers for the first 3 episodes.
Yeah.
I feel like I had something profound to say and I forgot what it
was. Oh
no. I do think. Well, okay. So early on, despite the fact that you said the first episode was slow, I think so far, I actually like the first episode the most. Because it shows, his normal life, and again, the acting's really good in this sense, but also, especially how other people interact with him.
Yeah.
It's sad, mostly, and, shitty. Like the guy, I forgot his name, the guy who comes in after,
Hilly.
Yeah.
Hilly.
That whole situation is, really uncomfortable.
I did not like him.
Yeah.
Evidently only his mom likes him. That's one thing.
Yeah, so there's that. I'll be honest, I thought, he was literally just, a random dude who was trying to scam him for, until they actually got him.
I kind of got that vibe, too. And then it turned out that he actually was a family member when he went to, the board to, actually see. And, the thing I've been trying to find now throughout the series, like in that first scene, it seems to highlight like the cup, which we now know belongs to Reggie. And the gun, which we now know belongs to his wife.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, well, no, even when they got to when he was looking at the board and he saw this guy, because that was from what I remember, the picture that was up there was of like him when he was younger, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And so I was thinking some guy just happened to know about that and was like, oh yeah, I'm totally that
true,
dude grown up,
Oh,
like,
yeah.
10 years later or something. So, but hey, I mean, it also goes to show that, like, family members can do shitty things to family members who are suffering from stuff like this.
When he pocketed the 200.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's something that's depressingly kind of common. That family members will take advantage of people going through Alzheimer's or dementia. So, yeah. And yeah, so as you kind of alluded to this earlier, the whole Alzheimer's medication thing,
Yeah.
that does not exist. But there is a lot of active research into this right now. And you always hear there's, it's one of those things where I don't know how much of this is just like sensational news, science reporting, or how much of it is actual real advancements. But I feel like every month or so you hear some sort of story about some sort of treatment or medication trial. I don't think I've really heard anything with humans that much, but it's been like, here's a thing that was tried and it like reversed, brain decay in mice or something like that, So even though it is something that is not real now, it's something that is, again, like, it's a believable fiction.
Potential.
Yeah. So, and I think it's interesting that the whole thing about, the sort of debate as to like if this is even like a okay to do to him, especially considering it will eventually stop working after like a month, right?
Yeah.
I think that's interesting how they play with that. I don't know. Again, I just think there's a lot of interesting stuff here, and it's well done, and the story's interesting, and I want to see it again. Like I said earlier, I want to see where it goes. So, yeah.
Yeah, I'm really interested to see like how it ends, especially knowing that this drug will probably wear off and something will happen to him at the end.
Yeah.
I have a feeling that the end is going to be very depressing.
Probably.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't think there's any way this can't be depressing.
Yeah, like while we were watching, I was just like, oh my god. Like when people say it really sucks to get old, they mean it. I'm just like, oh my god, do I want to get old? Like this old? Holy shit.
Yeah, I have seen, because there's you might have seen people talk about how, like, given how much life expectancy has increased, in the last few decades or whatever, that there's talks about like, oh man, like the first person lived to 150 has already been born or whatever, stuff like that, right? And but I've also seen counter narratives to that, which I feel like don't get enough attention, where it's like the fact that we have like, Alzheimer's and dementia and also like cancers and stuff like that, like obviously that stuff existed before, but now that more and more people are getting that old, it's becoming more and more common. And so part of the argument is almost like, maybe, once you get to like 90 or 100 or so, like your body just starts to shut down, and that's maybe kind of inevitable. So yeah, it's weird to think about.
Yeah. I mean, I forgot what I was going to say. Yeah, no, I forgot what I was going to say. You guys can continue.
It's okay. I mean, again, I feel like I don't have that much to say either, just because we're not done yet. So
yeah, I want to see like how it ends, and then I'm sure that we would all have a little bit more insight at that point.
Yeah.
Because I guess that's the thing with a mystery. For a mystery, you can't comment too much on it when you don't have the ending of it, because the ending in a mystery can matter.
Oh, I remember what I was gonna say. Going back to what Valen said about, like, oh yeah, the person who's 150 is already born. My other counter argument to that is, who would want to live to 150? Because when you think about it, Valen, as you said, when you're 90, you already are kind of...
Your body's on the way out.
Would you really want to be in that state for 60 years?
Yeah, I have heard that argument as well. So
yeah, like it would be one thing if you were 90, but you still felt like 40.
Yeah, like if there was like that whole pseudo immortality thing where you stop or you slow down, your body's aging, then I think it'd be okay to live longer. But since one's body breaks down at a very certain rate,
yeah,
I'm not sure if I want that.
yeah, the idea of living 60 years with the body of a 90-year-old is not the most
That
appealing.
is extremely depressing.
Yeah.
More than maybe extending someone's life, maybe it's more so you should extend someone's prime.
Or someone's health in general.
Yeah. Instead of being like, yeah, let's make sure that this person who is like has dementia and stuff lives another 60 years.
Yeah.
Like, if I can't wipe my own ass, I don't want to live anymore.
That's the way to put it.
But, yeah. Oh, another thing I wanted to mention, too, is I like even though it's really dark and everything, I appreciate their portrayal of what happens to, like, POC people, especially women.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Because
we have, like, 2 examples of that. One with Robin, and what happened to her, and then the one with,
the wife.
Yeah, with the wife.
Sensia? Her name is very interesting. I've never heard it before.
Yeah, Sensia, I think.
I think that's right, yeah.
But, yeah, where they both literally had to defend themselves.
Yeah.
And that's also something you don't see all too often. And also, like, what immediately happened. Like, in Robin's case, like, the blame was put onto her, which is sadly the reality
it's
of it. It's
very common.
It's sadly, extremely common, and it shouldn't be, because it's not her fault at all.
No. I love Robin, by the way.
Yeah, Robin is a great character. And then, for the wife, it's also like she had to defend herself.
She defended herself.
Yeah, she really defended herself. Well, I appreciated the fact that it kind of talked about that too. Because there is a lot of violence, and it should be talked about more often.
Yep. Anything else to say? Again, I guess we'll have more to say at a later point.
Yeah, once we finish and... Oh, well, we have the end of year conclusion.
Yeah, I was about to say, I guess there's the end of the year conclusion.
Yeah, that'll be the latest we would talk about it again.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to finishing... Oh yeah, if you're still here, this is 6 episodes long. Not that that matters, because you might still be watching it for 6 hours, but it's fine.
Yeah. But, I mean, I don't know, I think, again, if I would honestly be kind of willing to just watch more, except for the fact that I've been sleeping like shit for this week and I'm really tired, so...
Yeah. Okay, we'll finish it soon, and probably by the time this video goes up, we will be watching or...
Maybe at that point we'll record something like...
A follow-up.
A follow-up, and it's like, update... It's like Valen is, like, has to like piece together another discussion at the end of this discussion. Oh my God. So when he uploads it, it's like, all right, so this is the follow-up. A few days later.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I guess, is that all we can say for now?
Yeah.
So
I'm happy with my choice.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
So, thing we watched before this was Jose the Tiger and the Fish, and that was Tara's pick. So what are you replacing it with?
Oh, yeah, that's true. We went from one disability to a different disability, actually.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah, that is really sad. So, it has nothing to do with, the show we just watched, but there is a famous show associated with it. The movie that I picked is a movie that I have very vague memories of, because when it was on TV, I only caught certain parts of it, so I've never actually seen the entire thing through. But I have watched. Yeah, I've never seen, because it would always play out on the Fridays for movie Fridays, but I would never catch the entire thing. So I've only seen pieces of it, but I watched the show and everything, so I kind of figured it out from there. We're gonna be watching the Digimon movie, or Digimon, the movie.
Yay!
As the title is actually apparently called.
I guess I'm the only one who's played through that several times.
Meanwhile, I have not, seen a Digimon anything ever.
That's okay.
This will be your first introduction.
Yes, it'll be your introduction. I remember liking Digimon though. I watched a lot of the original series.
I watched season 1, some of it, all of season 2, some, if not most of season 3, and all of season 4. So I have, I guess, a little bit more baggage coming into this.
You have the most. You have the most knowledge going into this.
Yeah.
I can recognize all the characters, but yeah, again, I have not actually seen this movie all the way through, so it'll be really cool seeing this movie all the way through. So, last time I chose Yu-Gi-Oh! Seems appropriate that we do Digimon, especially since we watched the first Pokemon movie forever ago, even though we never did a discussion for it, but that's okay.
With the trail.
Yeah,
I do know that.
Go ahead.
I do know that the Digimon movie was like kind of the basis for another movie that I actually don't like, but maybe we might watch it someday. I probably still won't like it.
Which movie?
Okay.
Summer Wars.
Oh, I didn't know that. I also don't like Summer Wars, but yeah.
That's a discussion for some other day, possibly in Summer Wars.
Okay.
But yeah, let us spin the wheel.
Alright, what are we getting? We are, oh no, okay. We are getting the question mark. So,
what does the question mark
The deal
mean?
with the question mark is there was a movie on our main list that we randomly ended up rolling to put onto the docket. This movie is one that I'm really not sure if we are going to watch or not. It's one that I kind of want us to see, but it's also one where I'm like, I don't know.
Okay.
So
you want to? We can random a new one.
Well, hold on. Let me explain. So I put it as a question mark though because I am like, well, I do also have. We sort of randomized a sort of a backup to this one as well.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah.
I think so. We're keeping this as a mystery. I think for us, we'll start watching the original choice, and if this turns out to be a nope, this isn't working, we'll switch to the other one.
Okay.
And then
so you'll find out the next movie Monday what
Yes.
we ended up watching.
It would have been ironic if we were actually watching Scooby-Doo. The Mystery Machine.
It's not Scooby-Doo.
It's not Scooby-Doo.
That would be an interesting crossover. Anyway, yeah. So you will find out what we ended up watching. next
And
time.
so will we.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's fun for the whole family.
Yay. All right. So see you then.
Bye.
Bye.